With protests over the hijab ban in colleges appearing to spiral out of control and spreading and spilling into other states of the country, the incidents of stone pelting and lathi charge were reported from at least 4 districts.
Karnataka state government has scrambled to contain the situation by declaring a holiday in high schools and colleges for the next 3 days. Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai has asked all concerned to keep the peace. Meanwhile, all eyes on the High Court hearing that is to be held at 2:30 today.
We have Deepak and Imran joining us on the broadcast. Let's go across to Deepak first. Deepak, yesterday we saw visuals of not just protests and standoffs and face-offs from outside the colleges, but also the hoisting of the saffron flag, the lathi charge, the stone pelting, all of it, extremely evident to show that the law and order situation was deteriorating in the state due to these protests. What is important today in terms of legal development is the hearing in the Karnataka High Court.
Yes, it seems like it's only the courts now that can resolve this issue amicably, because up until now, the uniforms that existed in the campus or in colleges, both in government and private, or the government order, or the, trying to settle the issues between, both the parties hasn't really helped. So it looks like right now it is, the onus will really be on the courts. And we've seen many issues like this in the past where there has been a high dependency on what the court verdict will be, because that's something seems to be the only solution to this particular impasse at this point in time. And yesterday there was a long hearing where the court in fact broke for lunch, once again resumed about 2 to 3 hours of hearing that took place, and today once again it could continue. And we are expecting some sort of an interim judgment at least, and it looks like even the government is expecting at least in the next 3 days the courts to decide what is the way forward from here. That's the reason they've even shut down high schools and colleges because of what transpired yesterday. It was unprecedented. Many campuses, it was a situation which has never been seen before. Students pipped against each other. So several questions, of course, arose on what the government's intelligence was doing as per, people gathering in such large numbers, pelting stones inside campuses. How was this even allowed? Because there was deployment in most of the government colleges across the state of Karnataka. So all eyes, of course, will be on the court now to really resolve this matter.
दोपहर 2:30 बजे कोर्ट में आज सुनवाई होनी है. इस बीच इसी पूरे मसले पर सीएम बसवराज बोम्मई ने शांति बनाए रखने की अपील की है. क्या कुछ कह रहे हैं? लिसन.
This whole thing started in one school. However, now it has spread to other districts, which is very unfortunate. The matter is seized by the High Court. We have put our case very clearly, constitutional and legal. Karnataka Education Act provisions we have been put. There has been some disturbances in few places. Therefore, I am appealing to the students that they have to maintain peace and harmony, because ultimately tomorrow they have to sit together and do all the educational activities, academic activities. Therefore, peace and harmony should be maintained.
Let's go back to our reporters. Govind bhi हमारे साथ मध्य प्रदेश से जुड़ गए हैं. Govind, before I come to you, I want to take a quick update from Imran in terms of what transpired in the court yesterday. Imran, the advocates representing petitioners have cited preachings of Quran. They also argued how the choice to take a decision to wear what you want to comes under the privacy right. And I believe at one point in time during the hearing, the court also asked a question. The observation was, so can from tomorrow the judges also decide to wear what they want to?
Well, this is what we're getting to hear. This court hearings happened, and also very crucially, one of the lawyer arguing on behalf of the girl students said that can it be these laws of the notification issued with the Karnataka government delayed by 2 months, that they can come to attend the exams wearing hijab. And then the judge said that asked the Advocate General that if 2 months can be extended, and after that they will follow what the prescribed norm is there. So this line of argument also happened there, that there's one of the lawyers defending, saying that they let them allow to wear hijab for at least 2 months, and after that they will follow whatever the notification issued. and also as you said lightly, this the essential whether practice of hijab is essential in Islam or not, that was also discussed, and also the question of whether it is infringes on your on the personal rights, and whether it is in also opposition to the ideas of enshrined in the constitution of secularism, and ensuring that in classrooms no distinction should be made between communities and faith. That is also there was discussion came up. Also in the end, Justice appealed to the people not to take violence into their hands, not to to have faith in the constitution and in the judiciary, and not to take law into their hands, and ask the state government to ensure that total peace is maintained in the state.
वापस आ रहे हैं इमरान, हम आपके साथ. We have been seeing the movements on this issue in Madhya Pradesh and Puducherry also. Let's go across to my colleague Govind Gurjar. Govind Gurjar, वहाँ अभी सूरत हाल क्या है और सरकार और प्रशासन क्या तैयारी कर रहा है ताकि अशांति ना पनपे, माहौल ना बिगड़े?
देखिए, सुबह सुबह कल 8:30-9 बजे जो यहाँ के शिक्षा मंत्री हैं इंदर सिंह परमार, उन्होंने कहा कि बिल्कुल जरूरत पड़ेगी तो यहाँ पर भी हिजाब बैन कर दिया जाएगा, और हिजाब जो है वो कहीं से भी क्लासरूम का हिस्सा नहीं है। और मध्य प्रदेश सरकार जो है वो नई शिक्षा नीति के तहत नए सत्र में ड्रेस कोड को लेकर भी काम कर रही है, लेकिन थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजिंग इसलिए है कि हर राज्य का अपना ड्रेस कोड आज से नहीं वर्षों से है, और अनादिकाल से ड्रेस कोड है। गुरुकुल में अपना ड्रेस कोड होता था और हर राज्य में अपना ड्रेस कोड है। ऐसे में किस तरह के ड्रेस कोड की बदलाव और किस तरह की यूनिफाइड ड्रेस कोड की बात कर रहे हैं, शिक्षा मंत्री खुद भी थोड़े से कंफ्यूज नजर आ रहे हैं। बाद में टाइम्स नाउ ने भी उनसे बात की और उनका पक्ष जानने की कोशिश की, क्या मध्य प्रदेश में शिक्षा विभाग स्कूलों में हिजाब बैन करने जा रहा है। इस पर उन्होंने कहा कि ये मेरी व्यक्तिगत राय है कि हिजाब क्लास का हिस्सा नहीं है, और हम लोग इस तरह का हिजाब पहनकर स्टूडेंट्स को क्लास में अलाउ नहीं करेंगे। तो ये स्थिति अभी
गोविंदा बनी रही हमारे साथ. Let's go back to Imran. In fact, Imran, because as far as the hearing in the Karnataka High Court is concerned, of course, there's a debate outside the court raging as well on whether this is about a choice to wear what you want to, whether this is about the hijab being used as a tool to suppress women, whether this is about the Karnataka government imposing a blanket ban. Of course, all those discussions, debates are taking place outside the court. But inside the courtroom, the constitutionality is the most important aspect. The merits of the case are the most important factors that will be taken into account when the court passes a verdict. Imran, can you hear me?
जी जी बिल्कुल.
Imran, if you can hear me, I was just wanting to know from you about the major factors. One, of course, the constitutionality. As far as wearing of the hijab is concerned, whether or not it's an integral, intrinsic part of Islam, and the fact that the court, before the hearing resumed yesterday, or it began yesterday, made it absolutely clear that we have to set emotions aside, and a decision will be taken only based on the merits of the case and the law, of course. Okay, there seems to be a problem in connecting with Imran, I believe. Imran, if you can hear me, can you nod if you can hear me? चलिए, मुझे लग रहा है ज्योत्सना शायद इमरान तक हमारी आवाज नहीं पहुंच रही है, उसको ठीक करने की कोशिश हम करेंगे.
स्वाति, हम दीपक के पास चलते हैं. दीपक, कुछ बयानबाजी भी हम राजनीतिज्ञों के देख रहे हैं. उमर अब्दुल्ला ने भी कल वो शिवमोगा के जो विजुअल्स हैं वो ट्वीट किए थे और कहा था कि मुस्लिमों को दबाने की कोशिश हो रही है. इस तरह के राजनीतिज्ञों के जो बयान है, क्या ये इन छात्रों को और प्रवोक नहीं करेंगे?
Yes, the politicians, of course, at this point in time should really exercise caution in terms of what they're saying and how they're really saying these things, because the situation is quite tense in the state of Karnataka. The classrooms, especially people who, were friends sitting together as classmates, as friends for quite some time, have become foes, and that's a big issue because they have to go back to the same classroom once all of this settles down. So the question is, while of course, there is a demand for the rights of certain students, there is an opposition that's coming towards it. Politicians should really exercise caution in terms of how they really put it across, and also we are looking at organizations, also supporting, the protests that are taking place as well. Now, there could be factions here who could gain out of all of this, but it's the students who will stand to lose. So that's where they should be shielded and protected from, the preying eyes of people or organizations who are looking to gain from this. So while politics, of course, is expected to play out in a situation like this, the students themselves should somewhere exercise caution and, use, they should think about what is good for them and their academics while really going ahead with protests like this that are really consuming classrooms and, colleges across the state of Karnataka.
Right. Deepak, keep tracking the developments. In fact, we'll try and connect with you because it is a crucial hearing today in the Karnataka High Court. The big question is whether this debate on the hijab row will be settled by the Karnataka High Court. Thank you very much, Deepak, Govind and Imran for getting us the details.
एक छोटे से ब्रेक के लिए यहाँ पर हम रुक रहे हैं, आप रहिए हमारे साथ.